I'm Accident Attorney George McCranie. We have offices in Valdosta and Douglas, Georgia. Today I wanted to answer the question that we get a lot of times, and that question is, what is my workers' compensation case worth? And we answer this question a lot at my law firm, and it's a great question. We've helped clients from all around Georgia get the help they need after being injured at work or in a car accident. But what you may want to know, your workers' compensation case is how much it's worth. All right, so if that's what you're interested in, I want to answer that question. Now, if somebody that you know or you have these questions about an injury that you've received that was not your fault, whether it was at work, whether it was a car accident or an injury on a business property or commercial property, if you have a question like this, message the George McCranie Law Firm on Facebook Messenger or call us at 833-927-6227 and we'll help you get the answers you need. Now, some other great questions that folks and their families have is, who's going to pay my medical bills after I was hurt on the job? Will I be able to get paid while I'm out and disabled? Do I always have to see the company doctor? Will I ever be able to see a doctor that I know and trust? Now, these are all great questions that I've answered in other videos and on our website and in my book, After the Crash. And we'd be glad to answer these questions for you in person if you'd like us to. But the question I wanted to talk with you about today is, what is my workers' compensation case worth? And here's the answer that any attorney that's out there that's worth his salt will give you. And the answer is especially true if it's a recent accident or a recent injury. The answer is, it depends. It depends on the specifics of your case. If you talk with an attorney or their office after an accident at work or in a vehicle and they say that they know what your case is worth before getting all the facts, the medical diagnosis, the treatment plans, etc., you should run. They're not being honest with you. Let me put it this way. No attorney can tell the future. If they could, they'd all be billionaires from winning the lottery because they know those numbers coming up. But nobody can tell the future. And before an attorney can answer this question, there's questions that need to be answered. So it's hard to give a complete list of all the items that we consider when evaluating a workers' compensation or an accident case. But let me cover some of the big factors that affect your case. Now, under Georgia law, every person with a workers' compensation claim is entitled to 3 benefits. And we use these 3 when evaluating a claim. The first is wage benefits. Wage benefits are determined by how much you made in the 13 weeks before your injury. Now, this amount varies from person to person depending on your pay and your work history. In most cases, the employer must pay these benefits as long as the treating physician, that's the authorized treating physician, has you disabled from work. The second one, medical benefits. Your employer should be responsible for your medical bills. Okay, and not only to treat the original injury, but also to help you in rehab. So they've got to provide for those as well. And the third thing is PPD rating. That's permanent partial disability. And that applies if a doctor gives this rating based on your specific injury. Now let's talk about some of the questions we get answers to so we can fully evaluate your case. Who is your authorized doctor? What injuries have you received? How long will your injuries last? How much are your weekly paychecks? Is the insurance company actually paying you the correct amount in your wages? How long will you be totally disabled? When do you think you'll be released to light duty work? And another great question is, when, if ever, do you anticipate being released to work without any restrictions at all? Another one, what additional medical testing and treatment will be necessary in your case? And how much will this treatment cost? Will the insurance company fight the claim? Who will compensate you if your injuries are permanent? How are insurance companies supposed to calculate this amount if your injuries are permanent? And a big one, are you eligible to receive Social Security disability benefits? Now, these are just some of the questions that we must get answers to before we can determine the true value of your claim. So you see how impossible it is for a lawyer to know the true value of your claim without knowing at least the answers to dozens of these important questions. Now, just missing one of these important questions could result in a devastating loss of compensation for you and your family. Now, we have offices in Valdosta and Douglas, Georgia, but you don't have to come to us. We'll meet with you virtually, and you won't have to worry about the drive. You won't have to worry about spending all that gas money, forgetting some documents or anything like that at home. You'll be right there to make it easy. And we'll make it easy for you to learn what the George McCranie Law Firm can do for you. Now, all of this brings me to an important point. If you're watching this video, chances are that something bad has happened to you or a family member or a friend. And quite frankly, you would be looking for answers. If this is right, I am very sorry you're going through these difficult times. I know they're tough. Now, as a result, let me tell you what we will do if you want us to represent you. We will do all we can to protect you and your family. We will answer your questions. We will educate you about Georgia workers' compensation cases and how they progress through the system in Georgia. We'll help you stop worrying and understand the legal processes involved in your case. We'll fight for you and hold the insurance company accountable and get you and your family all the cash benefits you're entitled to receive under the Georgia law. Now, for your free, no obligation consultation regarding your case, and it's no obligation, it's completely free, and nothing leaves our office. All you have to do is Facebook the George McCranie Law Firm on Facebook Messenger, or call 833-927-6227. Now, you have absolutely nothing to lose by calling us. Think about all you and your family could lose if you don't. I'm Attorney George McCranie. I hope my video has helped answer some of your questions, and thank you for watching.